to restore normalcy. At this sensitive time, we would urge people not to make any irresponsible comments and also not to be influenced by selective and unsubstantiated narrative on this matter. As far as the comments by the Turkish president is concerned, you see, they are factually inaccurate. They are driven by his own political agenda, and we do not expect such statements to come out from a head of state. We made a strong démarche with the Turkish ambassador here in Delhi on the 3rd of March on the statement. No, just hold on. Yeah, UCRF, it is already included. In fact, I already made a statement at my last weekly briefing. Yeah, you see, I think it doesn't change the position on the ground. I think basically what we are trying to say is that these are very sensitive times. And at this point of time, irresponsible comments coming from people, and comments which are selective, comments which are not based on facts, I think it will do more damage. And we, of course, expect and urge such people not to make any remarks.
Is India worried about it?
No, look, I mean, if you know the situation, and what I partly answered now is that at this point of time, the focus is on restoring normalcy. What we are seeing now is the situation is fast getting to normal. Please also keep in mind that the steps which are being taken. Also keep in mind that at the highest level, the Prime Minister himself has appealed for peace and brotherhood. So we are moving in the right direction. The law enforcement agencies are doing their job. And we do hope that the situation, the way it is progressing, we are fast returning in that direction. कौन सा? हाँ? देखिए, जैसा हमने कहा कि जो दिल्ली में हिंसा की वारदातें हुई हैं, हमने कुछ कमेंट्स देखे हैं, सुने हैं दूसरे देशों से, कुछ इंडिविजुअल से। इस समय हम ये बताना चाहेंगे कि जो स्थिति है वो बहुत जल्दी से नॉर्मलसी की तरफ मूव कर रही है। जो हमारे लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज़ हैं वो अपना काम कर रहे हैं, ग्राउंड पे काम कर रहे हैं, और अभी उनका फोकस ये है कि कितनी जल्दी जो कॉन्फिडेंस है वो रिस्टोर किया जाए, कितनी जल्दी जो सिचुएशन ऑन द ग्राउंड है उसको नॉर्मल किया जाए। जैसा आपको पता है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने खुद अपील किया है कि शांति और सद्भाव बनाया जाए। और भी काफ़ी चीज़ें हो रही हैं। सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स, पुलिस ऑफिशियल्स, बाकी ऑफिशियल्स साइट पर जा रहे हैं। अमन कमेटी का गठन हुआ है, और भी बहुत सारे स्टेप्स लिए गए हैं इस डायरेक्शन में कि जितनी जल्द से जल्द सिचुएशन को नॉर्मलसी की तरफ हम ले जाएं। और हमारा ये मानना है कि ऐसे मौके पे, ऐसे सेंसिटिव मौके पे जो लोग ऐसे इरेस्पॉन्सिबल बिहेवियर ये बयान देते हैं उससे वो बाज आएँ। और ये भी हम कहना चाहेंगे कि उनका जो बयान है वो एक सेलेक्टिव नैरेटिव के बेसिस पे है, उससे बायस्ड है, और जो नैरेटिव है वो अनसब्सटेंशिएटेड भी है, उसका कोई तथ्य नहीं है। तो इसको ध्यान में रखें और उसके हिसाब से फिर आकलन करें उसका। मधुरेंद्र, हाँ नहीं, प्रणय के बाद।
सर, इस तरीके की मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स हैं कि करीब 495 ईरानी जो टूरिस्ट हैं वो अनट्रेसेबल हैं। तो एक तो इसकी वस्तुस्थिति क्या है, दूसरी चीज़ ये कि इस तरीके के कितने जो फॉरेन टूरिस्ट हैं जो कोविड अफेक्टेड कंट्रीज से आए हैं जो अनट्रेसेबल हैं फिलहाल?
देखिए, ये रिपोर्ट मैंने देखी है, और जाहिर सी बात है कि अगर कभी भी कोई मिसिंग होता है तो सबसे पहले उसकी जानकारी उसके एम्बेसी को होती है, और अगर एम्बेसी को जानकारी होती है तो हमें बताते हैं। अभी तक फ़िलहाल ईरानियन एम्बेसी से हमें ऐसी कोई जानकारी नहीं दी गई है कि कोई मिसिंग है। दूसरी बात ये गौर करने लायक है कि ये जितने भी टूरिस्ट की बात हो रही है ये इंडिया में काफ़ी पहले से हैं। वो जब ईरान में आउटब्रेक हुआ था उसके बहुत पहले से हैं, और ये वापस नहीं जा पा रहे हैं इसीलिए कि दोनों देशों के बीच में अभी कोई फ़्लाइट नहीं जा रही है। तो जैसे ही फ़्लाइट रिज्यूम होगा, कमर्शियल फ़्लाइट्स ऑपरेट होंगे, ये चले जाएंगे। मुझे लगता है कि इस मामले में पैनिक नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये पहले से आए हैं, ये आउटब्रेक के बाद ईरान से नहीं आए हैं। और जैसा मैंने कहा कि हमें ईरानियन एम्बेसी से ऐसी कोई जानकारी नहीं है कि ये ऐसा कोई मिसिंग है। तो मेरा यही जवाब होगा उस पर।
सर
मधुरेंद्र।
सर हमारा कंस्टेंट पॉलिसी रहा है कि टॉक एंड टेरर कांट गो टुगेदर, लेकिन हमने देखा कि टॉक और टेरर दोनों एक साथ थे जब तालिबान डील हो रहा था और हम उसके मुख्य दर्शक बने रहे। तो क्या कुछ पॉलिसी हमारी बदली है? और चंद दिनों में ही हमने देखा कि किस तरह से ये जो तालिबान डील है वो डीरेल होता हुआ भी नज़र आ रहा है, तो उस पर हमारा क्या कहना है?
मधुरेंद्र, देखिए जो हमारा बयान था, एक स्टेटमेंट हमने दिया था साइनिंग ऑफ द एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन यूएस एंड तालिबान, और दूसरा जो जॉइंट डिक्लेरेशन था वो यूएस और अफगान गवर्नमेंट के बीच में। और उसमें हमारी जो पोजीशन है उसको बहुत ही साफ तरीके से हमने रखी थी, बहुत ही प्रत्यक्ष रूप में हमने अपना पोजीशन रखा था। और उसमें अगर आप गौर करें तो उसमें जो हम काफ़ी दिन से बोलते आ रहे हैं कि दैट इंडिया विल कंटिन्यू टू एक्सटेंड ऑल पॉसिबल सपोर्ट टू द गवर्नमेंट and the people of Afghanistan in realizing their aspirations for a peaceful, democratic and prosperous future where the interests of all sections of Afghan society are protected. जहाँ तक डील की बात है, देखिए अभी डील साइन हुआ है और अब इस तरह स्पेकुलेट करना कि यह किस तरफ जाएगा मुझे नहीं लगता कि सही है। लेकिन आप हमारे स्टेटमेंट में ये भी आपने गौर किया होगा कि जो पूरी पॉलिटिकल स्पेक्ट्रम है अफगानिस्तान की, उन्होंने सबने ये जिस डायरेक्शन में अफगानिस्तान जा रहा है उसको वेलकम किया था। दे हैड वेलकम द अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर पीस एंड स्टेबिलिटी। और उसके साथ साथ मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा जो हमारे स्टेटमेंट में भी है दैट इंडिया हैज़ ऑलवेज सपोर्टेड द अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ दैट कैन एंड वायलेंस एंड कट टाइज विद इंटरनेशनल टेररिज्म। वी आर ऑल अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट the agreement provides for. Let us wait. We are all closely watching the situation. हाँ, related है उधर. Okay, then I'll take both the questions.
Do you think India was not kept in the loop when when the deal was signed? Which is an important neighbor.
Since the signing of the deal, we've seen at least 2 statements from the Taliban which talk about having bilateral relations. And one talks about bilateral relations with regional countries. I mean, at a time when the Taliban aren't even in government, I mean, are they overstepping? I mean, what's India's take on that?
No, Reza, I think your question, it has to be addressed to somebody who has made that statement. They are saying regional countries, they have to clarify who those regional countries are. Coming to your question, from the beginning we have taken this position, and I think you are all aware that we have been very closely monitoring the situation. The people and the countries who are important stakeholders, we have always consulted them. We have been in touch with US, we have been in touch with the government of Afghanistan, with China, Russia. So we have coordinated position. And our position also is very well known. You see, I think from the beginning we have expressed a view that we do hope that in whatever form and direction it moves, our concerns will be accommodated. We have also made it very clear that the gains which Afghanistan has managed to get in the last 18-20 years, they should be preserved. We have also said at the same time that there should be an end to international terrorism and there should be no safe sanctuaries in Afghanistan. So at this point of time, we are looking at a deal which has been signed, and let's just watch and see where it goes. Sinjoy?
So the Supreme Court could take up the issue that the UN Human Rights Commission is pushing. What would the ministry, your ministry, what kind of input you would have on this?
No, I think Sinjoy, I think I'm very clear on this. This is a matter which only the Honorable Court can answer. You are aware of our statement. The statement is very, very clear. And all such queries which you have on this matter, if you go through this statement, you will get the answer.
सर, कोरोना वायरस के चलते कुछ लोग ईरान में, कुछ भारतीय हैं, उनको लेकर भारत सरकार का क्या प्लान है, क्योंकि कल हेल्थ मिनिस्टर ने कहा था अपनी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कि हम वहाँ लैब बनाएंगे, वहीं पर ट्रीट करके बाद में लाएंगे, तो क्या ये प्लान है और कुल कितने लोग हैं और किसी कंट्रीज में भी भारतीय कितने लोग प्रभावित हैं, क्या कोई आंकड़ा?
इसके ऊपर अगर कोई सवाल है तो कोविड-19 के ऊपर उमा माइक ले लो, माइक दो भाई।
क्या वहाँ भी इंडियन को रेस्क्यू करने के लिए हम कोई अपना प्लेन भेजेंगे, ऐसा कोई प्लान है?
जी पीछे।
Sir, there are a number of restrictions on seeking visa for India right now on a few countries. I wanted to know what is the process of arriving at such decisions, and is it the health ministry that is the nodal agency for this, and how are we getting the inputs from our missions outside, and will you be periodically reviewing it, and how temporary are these restrictions now?
Okay. Any other query on this? Yes, please.
Very related to that, I was wondering if the government is considering more travel restrictions in terms for coronavirus.
Thank you. Any other question on this? I think last row.
Japanese government today showed a great concern about visa suspension, and do you have any comment? And also, if it will continue 1 month, 2 months or more, it have the great negative impact on the economy or business in India for Japanese. So do you have any idea how long will it continue?
Okay, let me try to, are there any other queries on COVID-19? Madhurendra.
सर मैं जानना चाहूँगा कि कितने देशों से भारत का वीज़ा इस वक्त आवागमन के लिए कैंसिल है। दूसरा सवाल है कि कितना इकनॉमी हमारा इससे इम्पैक्ट इस इकनॉमी पे इम्पैक्ट है। और तीसरा सवाल यह है कि WHO से क्या हम कोई कम्युनिकेट इस बाबत कर रहे हैं कि उनकी भी टीम क्या भारत आ रही है?
ओके, देखिए सबसे पहले तो लेट मी आई थिंक जस्ट गिव यू अ पर्सपेक्टिव as to how we are dealing with the situation. Prime Minister himself is personally taking a lot of interest in the preparedness of India being ready to deal with the situation. There is a group of ministers. The regular meetings are being held. Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Health is deeply involved. Both the ministries are deeply involved. Our embassies across the world, they are on the job. They have, wherever you have a certain number of cases, they have open 24/7 telephone networks for people to connect to them. External Affairs Minister himself is personally paying a lot of attention to this matter. You must have also seen the suo motu statement made by the health minister in the parliament today, and I think that answers many of the questions which have been raised. But specifically on Iran, you are aware, and our mission is putting regular updates out, that the mission continues to be in touch with all the Indians in Iran, including pilgrims, fishermen, and other Indian community. We have been advising them that you should follow the health protocol as advised by WHO and local authorities. As of now, we do not have any case of any Indian infected with the virus in Iran. We have opened, our mission has opened a 24/7 helpline. Arrangements are being made to facilitate the return of stranded Indians from areas of concern through normal civil aviation channels. We need good cooperation from the Iranian authorities so that an appropriate screening process can be set up before the Indian nationals can be facilitated to take those flights back home. EM has already tweeted, and I'm sure you must have seen the tweet, that a medical team is about to arrive or may have arrived as we have this press conference, and they are going to set up a lab to screen the Indian nationals before they can board the flight and they can be brought back to India. The second question was on the nodal ministry. You see, you must be following the regular updates which are being put up by the health ministry. Since it is a health-related matter, the advisories and updates are being put out by the health ministry. And all the statements, etc. And all the advisories related to visas, suspension of visas, where you should travel, where you should not travel. Now, this is the mandate of the Ministry of Health, regarding COVID-19. Whether there will be any more travel restrictions, it is very difficult to say. It's an evolving situation. And if you look at how things have progressed in the last week or so, I think there has been an update almost every day. So, depending on the situation, depending on how widespread the disease is in India and across the world, steps will be taken. The Japanese government visa, look, every country is taking steps to ensure that the disease COVID-19 does not spread within its own country. Japan has taken steps, India has taken steps, and based on the assessment on the ground, steps are being taken by different countries across the world. The main objective, of course, is to ensure that in a country like India with a population of 1.3 billion, you have to put some mechanism in place so that the infection does not spread to a large majority of our population. Economic impact, it's very difficult to assess at this stage. If you go by news reports, there is a disruption in flight, there are disruptions in trade as well. The economic cost will come out perhaps at a later stage, but I think it is too soon to kind of put a finger on exactly what the costs are. On the WHO team, in the statement made by the health minister, he did mention that very close coordination is happening with WHO. And in fact, all the necessary guidelines which we are putting out as an advisory in terms of how to protect yourself from the virus, that we are taking from WHO. So there is a lot of exchange which is taking place between the Ministry of Health and WHO on this matter. I hope I have answered all the questions. Kadambini?
ईरान और वुहान के ग्राउंड सिचुएशन में ऐसा क्या फ़र्क है कि वुहान से स्पेशल फ़्लाइट के ज़रिए इंडियंस को लाया गया और ईरान से नहीं लाया जा रहा है?
नहीं, देखिए, सीधी बात है कि यस प्लीज.
You said that you need the cooperation of Iran government for screening these passengers before they come. Are you indicating that the cooperation hasn't come, or could you just specify that?
No, what I meant was that for the screening purposes itself, if you have been following the trail of bringing people back, Indians back into India from different countries, there are certain health protocols which have been prescribed, and you have to follow those health protocols. And as per the health protocol, before you embark, before you take the flight, you have to be checked. And only people who clear the screening will board the flight. So the fact that we are sending a team to go there, put up the systems in place so that the Indian nationals who are stranded and who are in those certain vulnerable regions, they can be tested, and those who clear the test can be brought back. But yes, I think at this point of time, the fact that they are about to reach the place and the testing may start sometime immediately after their arrival in Iran, I think we are now getting cooperation from Iran, and we look forward to facilitating the return of Indians to India. Difference between Iran and Wuhan, I think it's very clear. You see, Wuhan was a confined territory where there were no flights operating. The city was basically locked down. In this present situation, you have Indians all over the world. You have Indians in Italy, you have Indians in US, and in each country you have a situation and you have a case of COVID-19. Now, where you have commercial flights which are already operating. So there's a difference, between the two situations. Akhilesh ji.
Sir, there is a report that to prevent coronavirus spread, 16,076 crew passengers aboard 452 ships from China not allowed to disembark at Indian ports. Are you aware of any such information?
No, what is the source of your report?
Some official sources are coming.
Can you please elaborate?
No, I can't elaborate, but I have got from...
No, I'm not aware. I look, the authoritative statement on COVID-19 and our preparedness has been made by the Health Ministry in the Parliament. If it is not there, then you will have to give me more details so that I can check and get back to you. Yes, Shalinder, then Reza.
सर पीएम के दो विजिट्स के बारे में आपने जानकारी दी, ब्रसल्स और बांग्लादेश, लेकिन एक और विजिट इजिप्ट का भी होने वाला था शेड्यूल, जो रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं, उस विजिट का क्या होगा?
नहीं, विजिट का हमने इजिप्ट कभी अनाउंस नहीं किया था। ये मैं मानूंगा बिल्कुल कि हमारे इजिप्ट के साथ घनिष्ठ संबंध हैं, और जो लास्ट विजिट हुई थी प्राइम मिनिस्टर लेवल की, वो काफ़ी पुरानी हुई थी, वो भी बायलैटरल नहीं थी, मल्टीलैटरल समिट में थी। तो दोनों देशों के बीच में बातचीत चल रही थी, चल भी रही है, और जब भी डेट फाइनलाइज होगा तो हम आपके सामने बिल्कुल रखेंगे। रेजा।
Yeah, I was wondering if we could get an update on the case of the Chinese ship which had been stopped at Kanda port on suspicion of carrying missile technology to Pakistan.
Reza, our authorities, they had detained a Chinese vessel, Da Shui Yan, when it berthed in Kandla port in early February, as it had misdeclared the item that it was carrying. Our examination has revealed that the item is an autoclave that is controlled under a dual-use export controls list. Therefore, the item has been seized by our authorities as per our legal procedure. It has also been ascertained by our examination that this item has military applications. We have conveyed our concerns on this issue to the Chinese side and have highlighted that as a friendly country, the Chinese government will take appropriate measures to ensure that the Chinese entities do not engage in activities that can contribute to proliferation.
This is regarding the statement made by the Iranian minister about Delhi violence. So, do you think it was an isolated incident, or it's part of change in their policy towards India?
No, I think we have made a statement, on, Foreign Minister Zarif's reaction. There's nothing further which I have to add at this stage. Uma.
चाइना, साउथ कोरिया समेत किन किन देशों के नागरिकों को दिया गया रेगुलर वीज़ा या ई वीज़ा कैंसिल कर दिया गया है, और उन देशों में गए भारतीयों को वापस लौटने के पहले किन प्रक्रियाओं से गुजरना पड़ेगा? इसको अगर एक साथ कंपाइल करके आप बता दें।
नहीं, देखिए, जैसा मैंने कहा कि रेगुलर अपडेट्स दिए जा रहे हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ की तरफ से, और आज जो हमारे हेल्थ मिनिस्टर का बयान था, जो सुओ मोटो स्टेटमेंट था पार्लियामेंट में, उसमें उन्होंने जिक्र किया है, लेकिन मैं दोबारा आपको बता देता हूं जो उन्होंने कहा। सबसे पहला कि ऑल रेगुलर, विच मीन्स स्टिकर, जो स्टिकर पेस्ट होता है, वीज़ाज, ई वीज़ाज, including visa on arrival, which is applicable to the nationals of Japan and South Korea, and granted to nationals of Italy, Iran, South Korea, Japan, and issued on or before 3rd March, and who have not yet entered India, they are no longer valid. They stand suspended with immediate effect. This came out on the 3rd March itself. Now, those who need to travel to India from these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries, they should contact our embassy and they have to apply for a regular visa. The earlier visa issued to them is no longer valid. Number 2, regular visa, e-visa granted to nationals of People's Republic of China, issued on or before 5th February, were suspended earlier. It shall remain in force. Regular visas, e-visas granted to all foreign nationals who have traveled to the People's Republic of China, Iran, Italy, South Korea and Japan on or after 1st February 2020 and who have not yet entered India stand suspended with immediate effect. Those requiring to travel to India under compelling circumstances may apply for fresh visa to nearest Indian embassy and the consulate. Number 4, diplomats, officials of UN and other international bodies, OCI card holders and air crew from above countries are exempted from such restrictions on entry. However, their medical screening is compulsory. Number 5, all passengers, both foreign and Indian, they must undergo medical screening at the port of entry if they are taking an international flight. They are also required to furnish duly self-filled self-declaration form and travel history to health officials and immigration officials at all ports. We have also issued an advisory regarding travel, and we are advising Indian nationals to refrain from travel to China, Iran, Republic of Korea, Italy and Japan. And we have also advised Indian nationals to avoid non-essential travel to other countries which are affected by COVID-19. Is there anything which I didn't answer? I think I answered all your queries.
After the health minister's statement in the Lok Sabha today, some members demanded that this screening of passengers, this facility should be set up at other ports also, because international passengers are directly going to some other states. So, are there no facilities for those?
No, I'm afraid, I'm not, for me to answer, there is the clear-cut division in terms of what I am authorized to say. We are looking at the external ramifications of COVID-19, and that I have touched. Health Minister and Health Ministry officials, they are actually putting out regular updates. I'm sure some of the questions which have come up in the public domain, they will be addressed by the Ministry of Health. Yeah, Tripti.
Thank you. I understand that there's an acute shortage of masks and in the Indian market.
No, again, Tripti, you have to understand this is not something which should be addressed.
No, I just want to understand if any missions in New Delhi have drawn your attention.
No,
to this,
I mean, we are not aware of any such reference being made to us by Indian missions, foreign missions who are based in Delhi.
Thanks.
Asked to procure the essential items. There is a list by the Commerce Ministry, and it has been forwarded to the Ministry of External Affairs for the procurement sourcing of the procurement of essential items. So has Indian missions been involved in this process, and they have been conveyed?
You mean to say that the procurement will be done through the Indian missions?
Yeah, the Indian missions have been asked to look for the alternative sources of procurement if the supply get disrupted from the countries which are affected by COVID.
I am not aware of this. I'll have to check and get back.
भारत की तरफ से जो भेजे जाने की बात करी है, लेबोरेटरी वगैरह सेटअप करने की, वो क्या प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई है, होनी है, उस पर थोड़ा
जैसा मैंने कहा, जैसा हमारे विदेश मंत्री ने कहा कि ये जो टीम है, मेडिकल टीम, वो आज पहुंच जाएगी, हो सकता है पहुंच भी गई हो, और उनके पहुंचने के तुरंत बाद वो जो अपना उनका लैब है वो सेटअप कर लेंगे, और जैसे ही लैब सेटअप होगा तो जो इंडियन नेशनल्स वहाँ पर हैं उनकी टेस्टिंग शुरू हो जाएगी, और ये एक प्री एम्बार्केशन प्रोटोकॉल है, health protocol है, which has been prescribed and which is applicable throughout the world, that before you board a flight, you have to be cleared from any infection. So if you are infected, then you can't board the flight. So now look, I think we have to go by the test result. We have to go by the test result. If the test result which is done is negative, then, and that is what we did in all the cases, and that is the internationally accepted norm. That was done in the case of Diamond Princess, that was done in other cases as well. Yes, I think, look, that protocol, again, as I mentioned, that there is one pre-embarkation protocol, there is a protocol which kicks in place the moment you land, and that protocol has been prescribed by the Ministry of Health. know, जो जाहिर सी बात है कि जो अगर पॉजिटिव हैं तो जैसा हर हाँ वहाँ क्वारंटाइन हो जाएगा, हर देश में ये फैसिलिटी है तो ही हो जाएगा. I'll have to I'm not sure if it has been set up now as Minister tweeted that they are flying in today, they may be about to reach, and once they reach the place I'm sure they will be consulting with the Iranian authorities and perhaps the embassy as well, keeping in mind a location which is easy for everybody to access. So I think that perhaps will be the determining factor in deciding the location.
तरक्की कभी ये नहीं पूछती कि आप कहां से आ रहे हो, बस ये पूछती है कि आप कहां जाना चाहते हो. तरक्की कभी ये नहीं पूछती कि आप कौन हो, बस ये पूछती है कि आप क्या बनना चाहते हो. तरक्की आपको कभी नए रास्ते दिखाएगी तो कभी नए दोस्तों से मिलवाएगी. बस आपको तय करनी है आपके तरक्की की रफ्तार, एक नई सोच और हर रोज कुछ बेहतर करने की प्रेरणा, अपने लिए और अपनों के लिए.